first time my dad ever apologized to me. I almost wished he hadn't. My dad never said sorry, not once, my whole life. If he yelled, he'd wake up the next day like nothing happened. If he forgot my birthday, he'd just mumble, "I was busy." In our house, that was just how dads were. Silence was the apology. When I was 15, I got accepted into a summer engineering camp I'd wanted since I was a kid. I ran home with the acceptance letter like it was the biggest moment of my life. I honestly thought, this is the day he's finally proud of me. He looked at the letter for maybe 5 seconds before handing it back. "You can't go," I asked why. "We can't afford it." That was the whole conversation. No explanation. No, maybe next year. Nothing. For a long time, I told myself he just didn't care enough to make it happen. That story stayed with me for years. We still talked, but never about anything important. It felt easier to believe we were just two people who would never really understand each other. Then, when I was 21, my mom asked me to help clean out the garage. In the back of an old filing cabinet, I found a folder with my name on it. My acceptance letter was sitting on top. Underneath it were hospital bills, all dated that same summer. My little sister had been diagnosed with a heart condition, and my parents had used every dollar they'd saved from my camp to pay for her treatment. At the bottom of the folder was a bank withdrawal receipt. The amount was almost exactly what my camp would have cost. That night, I put the folder on the kitchen table. My dad walked in, looked at it, and quietly sat down. After a long silence, he said, "I figured you'd find it someday." I asked him the question I'd been carrying for 6 years. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" He looked down at his hands for a while before answering. "Because no matter how I explained it, I thought it would sound like I chose your sister over you." He stopped for a second, took a slow breath, and finally looked at me. "I'm sorry." It was the first time I'd ever heard those words from him. Then he quietly added, "Every year I waited, it just got harder to say anything. I thought hearing him apologize would fix everything I'd been carrying. Instead, it made me realize he'd been carrying something too." We sat there for a while without saying much. Before he went upstairs, he said one last thing. "I was proud of you when that letter came. I just wish I'd found a better way to show it." I realized then that my dad hadn't stayed silent because he didn't care. He stayed silent because he didn't know how to explain a choice that would have hurt one of his kids no matter what he did. Sometimes the hardest apologies aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones that take years to find the courage to say.